to Stepping on the Mat podcast episode 006 with me, Aaron Martinez. Today's guest is a high school wrestler, whom this podcast was built around. He'll be one of the feature athletes of our upcoming documentary series, Stepping on the Mat. This docuseries will highlight grappling standouts and their journey to fulfillment. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Tyler Harper. Welcome, Tyler.
What's up?
What's going on?
Nothing much.
So here we are again. We got the lights, camera, action going. You just graduated from your junior year.
Yep.
You're done. Summer is on the cut. So what are you doing now?
Just hanging out, wrestling. That's about it.
So are you still training over at Moen Academy?
Yeah, mowing. I got different places. Went to Central last night. Grandview every once in a while, just hopping around.
So what else been going on? What else you been doing, spending your time since school's been out? I know it's been a short time, but
yeah. I don't know, just hanging out with my brother a lot. He just got back home, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, and just hanging out with him and stuff.
And your brother goes to where again?
Central.
He goes to Central out in Pella, right?
Yep, Pella.
Cool. And he wrestles out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about Trent and what weight he wrestles and how his season went.
He went 41 this year. Yeah. He was he had a good time, I guess, this year. Yeah.
And what year is he in right now?
He's gonna be a sophomore next year.
He's gonna be a sophomore next year. So he got on the starting lap as a freshman.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. But did he get how does that work since since he is not on the starting roster, the lineup? How much competition does he get then?
He had a tournament almost every weekend at the beginning of the season.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Everywhere, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, places like that. Yeah. We went up to a lot of the tournaments too.
So you did get to watch him wrestle quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's good. Have you seen any big improvements from him? Noticed between high school and college, besides obviously his maturity and growth?
Yeah. I mean, he developed a lot more shots. Yeah, he got better there. Slow single got a lot better, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you guys have kind of shaped each other, right?
Yeah.
Sword sharpening sword.
Yeah, we work out all the time.
I bet that started pretty early in life. Yeah. So how did you guys stay pretty close in weight, or was he just always a little bit bigger than you?
He was always pretty much bigger than me.
That's good, man. Having a brother as your training partner, man, that's what we all hope for. Yeah. You know what I mean? So let's talk about maybe some, you had, high school, we, as parents, we kind of always tend to be think it's this place you just drop you off, but it's a season of life, you know what I mean? A whole school year. So maybe capitalize on some, and this can be off wrestling topic as maybe some highlights of your school year for yourself as a junior.
Highlights were probably just wrestling season and just finishing school. It's kind of crazy right now that I'm already going to be a senior.
I know, dude. You're going to be doing all the senior picture stuff now and all that good jazz. What about for you, and this can be anything, like I said, what's one memory beside, and we'll get to the wrestling part, outside of wrestling that kind of stands out in your year? It could be something your friends did or anything.
Oh, man. Well, my science class, man, that was crazy. I had 2 or 3 of my friends in that class, and we would just mess around all the time. I don't know. That was my favorite class this year.
And then what's your wrestling standout highlight for you? Obviously yours, placing second in state is an amazing accomplishment, but what, maybe something somebody else did or something that you remember during the season that was just had you in your feel goods?
I don't think I really had a specific favorite memory, but I just kind of liked hanging out with the team, especially the seniors this year. That was my favorite class that came through. I was friends with a lot of them, Maddox, Donovan, all them.
And that's great rapport. I mean, you guys have been wrestling with each other for a long time as well. Yeah.
It's going to be weird next year without them.
Yeah. I mean, you were the team captain, one of the team captains this year, correct?
Yeah.
And I imagine that's going to continue that process next year. So yeah, you're going to be in lead. I mean, when I talked to Coach Brown, I interviewed him on here, and he was saying, he kind of counts on you as that key lead in the room. You take responsibility for a lot of the warm ups and motivating the guys. I've gotten to see that personally, trying to get Asaya up, so that's cool that, you've, taken that leadership role, and accepted it. So I'm excited to see you get at it next year and see how you lead your team again. So, what's your current training regiment look like right now?
Practices Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and then I'll just get like lifts in like on the days off and stuff.
Yeah, I noticed you're picking up some weight.
Yeah,
You look a little bigger than you were last time I seen you. So, last time I spoke to you, we were talking about jumping up because you were 106. And you're currently ranked like 15, right?
Yeah, 15,
overall,
16,
right?
like that,
yeah, that's pretty awesome. To even be up in that echelon and the upper numbers like that. So what are you doing now to work yourself up? I think you said you're going to go 113 next year, right?
Yeah. Well,
or next season.
Yeah, junior duels in Fargo. I'm gonna go 106. Just see what happens there, because I think I'll have a better shot there.
Sure.
And then after that, I'll just eat, get big, 113, 120. We'll see. Cool. Definitely never see 6 after that again.
Right. So like we talked about some weightlifting getting ready to happen for you guys. Your team start getting together early, not having wrestling practice, but having just like training and workout sessions, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So like that consists of weight training and cardio, or?
Yeah. We have open mats and stuff.
Excellent.
On Sundays, and then Brown opens up the room 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, that's awesome. You getting some of the younger guys in there that are?
Yeah, there's a lot of freshmen in there. A lot of freshmen and 8th graders.
That's good stuff right there. I mean, that's the future of the team.
Yeah,
when you step out next year, that's the guys you got to work on now.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So current training regiment's going well. You're getting plenty of practice. Like you said, you're working over at Moen's Academy, getting ready for your next competition, which is going to be Fargo, right?
Junior duels.
The junior duels?
That'll be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
Where's that going to be at?
Tulsa.
In Tulsa. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. You getting excited about that?
Yeah, I am. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Anybody in your bracket that you're anticipating that's going to be in there?
I'm not too sure. It's just different states bringing different kids, so I'll probably see a lot of kids I know.
Right. And have you competed at Tulsa Nationals before?
Yeah.
How'd you do the last time you were there?
Preseason, the kickoff one. I think I lost in the blood rounds or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got that coming up. And then July, right? That's when Fargo is?
Yeah.
July. North Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that tournament specifically.
Yeah. It's really cool. Best tournament.
It's like the biggest. It is like one of the biggest tournaments, right, in the nation.
Yeah. There's so many kids, and then I've been there twice. And the 2 years ago, we didn't get to ride a bus up or anything. We just drove up separately because of like COVID and that stuff.
Sure.
And then last year, we got to ride a bus up and stay in the hotel with like all the other guys and stuff. So that was a lot different.
And who'd you travel with on a bus on that one?
It was a big charter bus. It was just like all the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, all the like juniors.
Nice. So that's like your kind of like the highlight of this off season wrestling, right? Freestyle. Yeah. Are you doing freestyle and Greco both?
No, just freestyle.
Just freestyle.
Yeah, I'm not a big Greco guy.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like judo.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So looking forward to that. Do you know who's going to be traveling with the Moen team?
Yeah, I know. There's like 30 something, but like some of the kids that like everyone would know would be like Max Riggins, Connor Pfizer, Mike Slade, those guys.
Yeah. Iowa's got just strong representation all the time, but it's cool to see. Watch it from this platform over here, from the seat over here, to watch you guys, and that's just how talented you guys are, man. Just across the board, your guys' levels of increase since, over the last 10 years, I've seen wrestling improve and change a lot. So what did you place last year at Fargo?
Fourth.
You got fourth at Fargo. That's a huge deal. So
Yeah.
explain to us that haven't been there or seeing how the brackets are set up. Like, what's the size of each bracket?
Last year I think mine was like a 64-man bracket, but there's a lot that get up to like 128, and it's just, or like 256. It's crazy. Like you're scrolling on Flow Wrestling, you're looking for your name, and you're just scrolling. It's nuts.
That is huge. I couldn't imagine having to go through like a 128-man bracket.
Yeah.
So, what was your bracket size last year?
50 plus, I think, something like that.
50 plus,
Yeah.
and you placed fourth.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. Do you remember who you competed against for the fourth place match?
Yeah, Jaden Rinkin. He's from Iowa.
He is from
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah, I think he locked up a lace or something and beat me. Yeah.
Where does he wrestle at now?
He goes to Immortal. Like,
Immortal.
It's up. They practice out of UNI. Yeah. He goes to National Plainfield, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that I get to travel along this time, and I'm looking for an RV spot to park at. So I want to go out there and get some fun time as well as filming for you and for Skylar Slade. So that'll be awesome to see you guys compete again. I haven't seen you compete since the end of season, so which I had a pretty good seat in the house to watch your finals match.
Mm-hmm.
So as we move out of summer, like you said, you can't believe you're already going to be a senior in high school. So what are give me a couple short-term goals and some longer-term goals for you to finish out your high school season?
Yeah. I'll just find the right college. Basically, that'd probably be my first one. One of my main goals right now is to win Fargo coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that I basically have in sight right now.
So I asked you earlier before we started going live here, was like, what does Tyler like to do outside of wrestling?
I like shoes a lot. Yeah. I
me
always
too.
collect them, sell them.
Okay, so like, how long have you been collecting shoes?
Probably for the past 2 years.
2 years?
I started with just wrestling shoes, and then I started.
Okay, so it's not. So you see shoes, I go basketball shoes instantly.
Well, yeah,
so
that's what I'm into right now.
So tell me, we got to back this up now. So
Yeah.
you said wrestling shoes. So
Yeah.
tell me about how that thing got started.
Yeah, so basically I would just like go to tournaments and I'd see cool shoes and like the colorful ones. That's what I liked right when I started to get into it. So for my birthday 2 or 3 years ago, my dad got me Sissy Aggressors. I don't know if you know what those are, but they're just like pink, blue, and yellow aggressors. They're pretty sweet.
Would those be considered the freestyle shoe?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that kind of got me into it, and then I started getting more wrestling shoes like EXEOs. Those are like Asics, stuff like that. And then made an Instagram page and started trading and selling and that stuff.
Well, I got to get on this Instagram page. Tell us what's the handle. What's the handle for us so we know where to look you up?
IA.wrestling shoes.
There it is, folks. You know now.
Follow
you got it.
Yeah, follow it.
I'm going to, man. I'm gonna go on there and see what you got. Like what like as an artist, I'm always into I like aesthetic, but I like functionality too, right? I like a shoe or my clothes to be like a certain feel to it. So like, what inspired the collection of a wrestling shoe?
Basically, because I was a wrestler, I was just like, I need some cool shoes when I'm competing. So
do you during the year do you switch up shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Not last year. This last year, I just went for comfort.
Okay.
Just wore matte flexes.
Yeah, I think your dad told me something about
just
that.
$30
He's like,
shoes.
you spend all this money on these shoes, and like he goes to pick these other ones. But that's good. That's how it should be. I mean, if we talk about sneaker culture and talk about Jordan, this is like that's kind of like how his shoes evolved too. It's like they built the shoe around the athlete, and I think that's important, especially when it comes to like useful gear. it's not like you're going to give a soldier something that's not going to fit or be comfortable for him to wear for long, extensive periods of time. You know, you guys are grinding every day on the mats. Shoes often blow out. You know, that's another thing you should look at too, is like wear and tear on your shoes. You know, you can give good insight to people that are trying to buy shoes about which shoes last longer and have a better fit and feel better. Like for me, are you wearing Jordans today?
No, I'm wearing Dunks. I'll
You got the Dunks on?
Yeah.
Let me see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody get your Dunks.
Yeah.
They're the hot ticket right now. I told Asai, I was like, if we open up a sneaker store here in Norwalk, I said we're gonna have to like stock up on the Dunks.
Yeah.
So any shoe that's not comfortable.
Honestly, Jordan 4s.
Oh my God! Right here, dude. Right here. I was just getting ready to say that. I was getting ready to say that like that's the shoe that gives me the biggest, but it's one of my favorite shoes to wear.
They look so clean, but they're just I can't wear them for more than like a school day.
Yeah, they're just because I got really wide feet.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, seeing my feet in jiu-jitsu knows that I got these really wide feet. And so the 4s just murk my pinky toe.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. But they look so good, you know. It reminds me when I was a kid, my first pair of Jordans, I wore those things until they were probably 2 sizes too small for me. My toes all curled up in there just to stay in the game, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucks that Jordan 4s. They're such a classic shoe. The webbing and everything is like such a unique design, and they're just uncomfortable to wear. So, we might as well talk about some sneaker knowledge. Continue that. We'll do a little game here. Okay. I'm gonna show you 3 pair of shoes.
Oh.
Since you're showing your shoes, I'm gonna show you 3 pair of shoes. I want you to tell me if you know the year.
Okay.
The year they came out, and what they are.
Okay.
And what they're known for.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah,
so year, or we can go name of the shoe, year, and what they're best known for. Okay, here's number 1.
Oh, you got it. The actual shoes. All right.
Yeah, I got the shoe, man. They're going to have it on display here. So here it is right here, everybody in the camera. Right here.
6s?
Okay, yep, the Jordan 6. Do you know the specific?
Is that the Cardinal?
Close. These are the Carmines.
Oh, okay.
The red Carmine Reds.
Yeah.
What year? This is the remake. This came back. This retro shoe came back out in 2021.
Honestly, I have no clue. I'm gonna go. Is it 96?
Oh, close. 91.
Okay.
91. These came out. Jordan wore these like 91, 92 season. And this shoe is best known for. Do you know when can you get any imagery in your head? And you guys at home can play this game too.
Did he wear them in a championship game or something?
He wore these up until the championship, and then he changed, and then he wore the 7s in the finals, or not the finals, in the playoffs. But he wore these in the Olympics.
Oh,
these are the Olympic shoe he wore.
That's sweet.
So Jordan 6 Carmine. This is the recut on it back in 2021. This is also historically, since we're talking about shoes, this is my first pair of Jordans.
Oh, actually.
From not this shoe specifically, the original pair. This was my first one. I said I curled my toes on for so long, but it's such a sweet shoe. You know, the design on this shoe. Probably my favorite piece of, besides the contrast color combo with like the red and the white, is the tongue hold and this. You know, like such a cool classic design. I don't think this thing's ever gonna die off.
All the sneaker heads, like the Nike Air on the back.
Yeah. It's so sweet right there. So that's number 1. You did pretty good.
Thanks.
Number 2.
Patent bread ones.
Yeah. Yes, sir. See, I thought you were gonna wear your breads today, so I had to pull this one out to see.
I should have.
So, yep. So, do you know when the release of not this specific one, but the breads itself, the OGs, Jordan 1?
One of his first, right?
Yep.
86.
Yeah, pretty close. 85, 86. Yeah. So you got that right. Jordan 1, you got the name right. and obviously it's his first shoe. So that's what
Yeah.
he's most known for. And obviously the riff-raff about having too much black on a shoe, the band pair,
Yeah.
you know about the story of that.
I watched some movie about it.
Did you go
The
see Air?
Well, we just watched it at home. It was pretty good, though.
It's pretty good though,
Yeah,
right?
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Matt Damon.
Mhm.
No, I thought it was an excellent movie.
Yeah.
You know, they paid homage to it right. It was kind of interesting how like Jordan's character never like is seen in
Yeah.
it. I thought that was.
that made it better.
I think it made
'Cause
it
if
better
they
too
showed
because
a
you're
fake
constantly looking
character-
for him. You're like, am I gonna get it? Am I gonna
Yeah.
get it? And then you don't get it.
You can't really play Michael Jordan in a movie either.
Right.
If it's not him.
Right, right. Such a cool thing though. I'm certainly glad. I know Nike's glad that he made that turn to go there instead of going with Adidas.
Yeah.
Culturally at that time, I can understand why he wanted to go with Adidas. So, all right, last pair.
All right. Threes. Those are the Cardinals.
These are the Cardinals. Yeah. 3. What year?
I feel like those just re-released, but probably like
The original. The
Yeah.
the retro. The OG.
probably 91 as well. I don't
Close. Close. 88
know.
came
Maybe.
out, and Jordan was best known for these because of. Besides, these are the most comfortable, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I haven't had a pair.
The
I need to
sixes
get a
are really
pair.
comfortable. They're really light, actually, but I'd probably play basketball in the sixes versus these any day. But these are a comfort shoe.
Yeah.
These are the most comfortable, in my opinion. So what's he best known for in these? Take a guess.
Maybe, I don't know, another championship game.
Yeah, I think he won the championship in those. But the dunk contest,
Oh.
when he dunked from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the famous dunk from the free throw line, was wearing those right there. So there it is, folks. Hopefully you guys at home did well on that competition along with Tyler. Tyler did pretty good. He nailed a lot of it. He got the years really close. That
Yeah.
really surprised me. So what's your favorite pair of Jordans?
Look, probably a 4, and then I don't know, maybe 11s. I like the patent on the 11s.
Yeah,
11. I need a pair of 11 lows. I was trying to get the cool gray. Have you seen those
Yep,
ones? Yeah,
yep,
those ones were
yep.
cool.
I got a pair of 11s.
Yeah.
I wear those all the time. I wear those when I go to watch you guys wrestle,
Yeah.
when I'm wearing my purple stuff.
Oh yeah, I've
rock
seen
those.
Yeah.
But enough about me. Who is some of the people when you were growing up and still growing up that inspire you?
Probably like when I was growing up, Jordan Burroughs. I feel like a lot of kids looked up to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like probably the main person that I'd always watch, or my dad would show me his matches and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you've met Jordan Burroughs.
Yeah, he came up to Norwalk one time for a camp.
Is that
Yeah.
when you met him?
Yeah, that's when I met him.
And you were how old and then?
Probably like 5. Really
I think
young.
I remember seeing that picture. I was
Yeah.
like in my mind, I'm trying to circulate. It's like, was he an older kid when he seen him, or was he? Yeah, I
I
remember
think my
that.
dad like posted a picture or something like that the other day about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what about Jordan Burroughs? Makes you like captivated by him?
Probably, he was like one of the first athletes to get his own shoe and like his own branding, like the All I See Is Gold. I wore those, and he just like was super accomplished, won a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's what a lot of people look for.
And that man, he's so quick.
Yeah, his blast double.
He's just super quick, man.
Yeah.
I was watching when I was working in post-production, working on the documentary.
Mhm.
I had some, when you were at mowing during practice, I was like, man, I've seen you wrestle a lot, but the further you are, it doesn't have as much impact. You're pretty quick too.
Thanks.
Your shot is super quick, man. So be proud of that. That's
Thanks.
pretty awesome to watch. So any other role models or people that have like you kind of looked up to?
Probably some of my family members, like my grandpa, like both of my grandpas. Yeah.
Tell me about your grandparents, your grandfathers.
I have one that lives in Oklahoma and one that's in Norwalk. The one in Norwalk's like, he's pretty smart. Yeah.
That's your
Owns
mom's dad?
Yeah, my mom's dad. He owns a business, has a good family. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Smart.
Awesome. What's his business in?
It's called consumer credit. He just like helps people
Oh, so that's where your
financially.
mom works.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
cool.
works for him.
That's pretty cool to be able to have
Yeah.
mom and dad working together.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat. So that's good. You know, like I think a lot of kids don't look to grandparents anymore these days. So that's good that you still have your grandparents alive and that they're creating an influence for you. What about your grandfather, your dad's dad that lives in Oklahoma?
Yeah, he's super hardworking. Like he's kind of like whenever we go down there, he'll have us like do yard work or whatever, and he's like just super cool. Also, he's just like always there, and he's not a big wrestling guy, but he still gives me like pointers and like just like broad like motivational stuff that will help no matter what. So like he's really good with that kind of thing.
And he's a baseball guy?
Yeah, he's a baseball guy.
Because your dad was the best baseball player, right?
Yeah, he was catcher, played in college. I actually think he got recruited by some MLB teams.
Really?
He doesn't like to talk about that stuff,
Sure,
though.
sure. Yeah, your dad's humble. You're humble. I mean, I think that's what people do, you know, when they don't need to shout out things, you know. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you probably get to go see your grandparents when you go down to Tulsa Nationals, right?
Yeah, for the dual team.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you guys were down there visiting when you guys went to go see the NCAAs, right?
Yeah, we went up there for the D1 tournament and then stayed with them. Yeah.
That's good.
He actually went up to a few of the sessions with us to watch.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. How did that go?
It was good.
I know when
some of the matches were crazy.
Tell me about some of the matches that like kind of captivated your attention.
One of my favorites was Bryce Indonian, like in Levi Haynes, the semis. That was nuts. Or that was the quarters. Yeah, quarters.
What was nuts about it for you?
It was like Indonian puts him on his back right away. And everyone thought it was over. I thought he was pinned, and then Levi Haynes comes back and just dominates after that. But Indonian's just like, he's dangerous. He's one of my favorite college wrestlers right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Who else is on your standout list for college wrestlers that you look up to?
Right now, I mean, I don't have a ton right now. I like all the kind of like wild guys like Austin Gomez.
Yeah,
I like him.
Do you watch a lot of wrestling?
Yeah, I try.
Some people don't, you know, like when you ask them, they're like me, like I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't sit around and watch jiu-jitsu all day, you know. Some people aren't into that, but so you stay pretty active, you know, following and watching and picking up techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go back in history a little bit. When and how did you get started into wrestling?
Yeah. I think I talked about this in the documentary, but when I was probably 4 or 5 preschool, around that time, my brother started wrestling, and I was just like, I thought it was really cool because I'd go to practices and just watch from like the bleachers, like the old room, just like up on the benches, and I just thought it was cool. So I think it probably only took me a couple weeks before I convinced my dad to let me wrestle.
And Trent had already started at that point?
Yeah. And I think my dad, he did it in high school. He was on varsity for a couple of years. Obviously not his main sport, but he said it was just like helped him like mentally and all that. So he just like wanted to get us into it.
Yeah, for sure. And tell me about that. Like, where did you start at, and kind of, how did your career go?
It started with the Newark Youth Club, and they were very dominant at the time. We won the dual state for the youth program, and you could tell that like we were like raised right, because went on to go to dual state in high school, all that. But Major coached. He was pretty tough on us, and that helped.
Yeah, he wrestled at Iowa, didn't he?
Yeah, he wrestled at Iowa.
Yeah, I love Major.
Yeah, he's
cool. Like me and him, like we get along really good because we have similar coaching structures, you know. And I enjoyed coaching with him because we bounced off each other really well. So you invested in the Norwalk program through middle school, and then
I think it was up until middle school, and then I went to Bassa because Grant Harper was there, and he was doing pretty well, so we just followed him there.
Sure.
We still went to Norwalk Club, but started to kind of venture out into the club area. So that's when it all kind of started.
Sure. And we haven't, actually, of all the people, as many times as Ubasa has been mentioned on this podcast, we haven't really talked about him a lot. Yeah. So maybe share with us your connection to Ubasa.
Yeah. I was at his club for a while. He's pretty close. Like, going into Fargo 2 years ago, I was doing baseball, so I never had time to go to his practice or anything. Mm-hmm. And he started to do one-on-ones with me. And that helped a lot. He'd bring in kids, or he would even wrestle me himself, and we'd just go at it, and it helped me a lot. That helped me All-American.
Yeah, and he's another former Hawkeye.
Yeah. From Hawaii.
That's two. We're on two. We got two people in here right now. So and where's his school located at?
In Des Moines.
In Des Moines.
I think he just opened, or he also has one in Iowa City, I think.
Is he quiet on the mat?
In the corner, he's not. He's crazy in the corner. He's jumping around, celebrating. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Tell me, give me a good a memory that you have from being under him as an athlete.
I think I talked about this one in the documentary too, but he was in my corner at AAU State, and I had like some big win in the semis, and he just was like dancing, like throwing his hands in the air. It's so funny.
And like you mentioned, like right around middle schools, that's when you kind of started going into club team.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the difference between working in just like a regular middle school team, a rec team, versus going to a club team?
I think the intensity kind of picked up a little bit. You realize that it was more than, I don't know, just sparring and technique. There's like conditioning and live, all that.
Yeah. Do you still know any guys that are training over there?
A few. Aiden Serrano. I went with him
at Carlisle, right?
Yeah. Last couple of years. Bowen Downey, maybe.
What did he get this year at state? Did he get fourth?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I kind of lost.
He got fourth the year before. He was at 106, and he beat me to go to state. Mm-hmm. He got fourth that year.
Yeah, so I had to run into him too.
Yeah.
He's a tough kid. And then now you're training over at Moen, so you went from Ubasa to Moen. What made that transfer connection?
There's a lot more partners over there for me, because I didn't have a ton of kids to wrestle at Ubasa.
Sure.
Yeah, and then now I have a lot of good competition.
Yeah. TJ's a great coach.
Yeah, he is.
I like that old school style.
Intense, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am, and so like I just do well when I hear that in the room. I could walk out of the room and be like, my kid's in the right place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I know he's gonna be hard on him, but he's gonna do it with good intention. Mm-hmm. And you know the intention is to get them as good as he knows that they can be, versus them having doubt in themselves and stuff.
Yeah,
so
and he always reminds us of that. Like if he's like super hard on you at practice, he'll still come up after you and be like, "Hey man, I didn't want to like be that mean on you, but I'm just trying to get you better or something."
Sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something here a little different we haven't done before. Is I want to actually show you and everybody else a little piece of the documentary.
Oh yeah.
It's just a few blips of it, and let you watch it and see what you think. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let me load it up.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. Let's go.
I mean, the middle of February, at least for me growing up, I mean, the Iowa State wrestling tournament is the biggest thing there is. I don't really watch a ton of football, a ton of basketball or anything, but so the NCAA wrestling tournament and the state wrestling tournament they're the biggest events in sports for me, and I like that for a lot of people growing up, especially the state tournament because it's all people and places that you know. So I I really don't think there's a bigger thing for small town Iowa, especially that, I mean, it's a lot of farming, and then, oh wow, it's a state tournament time. It's time to wrestle. And so, I mean, it's a cool thing because, you know, if you think about for state basketball, it's 8 schools, and for football, it's 4 schools going to the Dome and all that. But it's so big in Iowa with, you know, 270 programs, I think, in the state of Iowa. And you got to think probably 200 plus are sending kids to the state tournament, hopefully. So there's 200 different, you know, communities getting together to send kids off to Des Moines, to Wells Fargo Arena, to the state tournament. And honestly, if there's a sport that I think deserves that much credit for anything, it's the sport of wrestling, because it's the hardest sport there is, in my opinion. And it's guys that it's normally a bunch of humble guys that come in and work hard, and maybe not the most glorified sport. So for us to get that moment at the state tournament, to send guys off and be in Wells Fargo Arena, I mean, it's an experience that I think kids have earned, and it's a great thing. So.
Grand March. They represent the now 1,008 wrestlers from Iowa.
Well,
That's sweet.
you ready for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
I like how it's like jumping back and forth with like practice, people walking in.
Yeah,
all
different
that.
practices too.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah.
it showed a little bit over at Moen, and yeah, I'm excited. It's like the music, it's like gets you ramped up, because that's right before that clip is actually right before you make your walkout for the finals.
Yeah.
So it's like a good build up. So I'm excited about the documentary, man. I can't wait to release it. And I think, you know, doing as many documentaries as I've done, like I get to sit with it
Yeah.
so much longer than everybody else does. Everybody else will watch it, right?
Yeah.
They'll watch it and they'll be like, oh, that was good. They'll pass it, share it, whatever. But I watch it over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you personally, we're sitting here, like I appreciate, you know, allowing me an opportunity to share your story and your experience. I know it's not easy to have your life kind of on camera,
Yeah.
you know, especially since it's still unfolding. But man, what an inspiration, man, you are. I've heard so many great things and learned so many great things about you since getting to know you better, getting to know you closer. And you're inspiring a community too. I know that it's probably not a big deal for you guys as wrestlers to like go visit the elementary schools, you know, like here comes the kids that are making state, you know, but those kids are looking up.
Yeah.
You know, when you were reffing at the Norwalk Youth Tournament, I got to watch you there a little bit too. And those kids are going to remember you.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to remember your face, you know, and they're going to remember the highlights of your high school career. And they're going to hopefully, you know, step into those shoes and want to be just like you. I know that's what inspired me when I was young, is seeing kids who were older than me wrestle and seeing them under the lights and how they performed. And I was like, man, I want to be just like that guy.
Yeah.
So our community owes you some gratitude and support.
Yeah.
So that's another hint for everybody out there that's watching this podcast, is to make sure you support your wrestling team when there's fundraisers going on, when they got things going on, to get out there and support these guys. Because it's a discussion that's been had several times on this podcast about like wrestling is the hardest sport.
Mm-hmm.
It is. But for some reason, it just doesn't get the notoriety and attention that it needs in a community. And I know what you guys go through.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long season. It's hard. It's weight cutting and just ups and downs of winning and losing. And to see you guys go out there and make this, make the tournament, you know, a lot of people don't get to do that, to say that they've made the state tournament, you know, but then to come out there like you did this year and make it to the top of the podium, you know, and be able to stand in second place. And man, I was super proud.
Thank
I was
you.
super proud of you, and I know your family's proud of you, and I know your team's proud of you. And you're setting a new tone as well. You know, it's great having a state place winner in the wrestling room.
Yeah.
You know, and to come back to, and we got somebody that was a runner up.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing what you're going to do with the guys this year, and motivating those younger guys that's seeing you now to be able to take that spot and run with it. So keep pushing, everybody. I love it. And I'm super excited about the documentary being released. And yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, thanks for doing. the
Heck yeah, man.
documentary.
It's going to be, hopefully, I hit all the spots that need to be hit, and everybody's happy, and we can inspire some more people to come out for wrestling
Yeah.
as well, and help you, advance your career as well. Okay. So, one of the semifinals match, tell me a little bit about that.
It's been a
What
while.
you remember of it.
Yeah. It was. I mostly just like remember the warm up the most. The Thompson called me like 3 times. He thought I was lost before the match because I went down to Hy-Vee Hall. They have like warm up mats down there. He thought I was lost, and I was just down there like chilling out. So he came down, and like 3 other coaches came with us, and then I just kind of warmed up, practiced a few shots. I wasn't like super nervous. Thompson was more nervous than me.
I bet he
Yeah.
was. You can see that on the documentary too.
He was.
You can clearly see it. But that's I mean, I think as a coach, I probably got more nervous getting up to watch my guys compete versus, myself, because when you're in there yourself, there's so much other stuff going on that you're not really thinking about winning or losing.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a coach, it's like you're so nervous for that person. But yeah, you looked pretty poised and calm that day. So you get the big win, what I would consider the upset of the tournament. You took out the number 1 ranked kid, and then afterwards, after you have the match, little time to celebrate, and they move you on to the media rooms,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What was that like? Just being going from this like exciting moment where you finally beat the kid that you'd lost to,
Yeah.
and that means it puts you in the finals. You're finally hitting one of your life goals here, and then lights, cameras, action. They're all over you. What was that moment like?
It was tough to talk. I didn't really know what to say like in the moment, and there was like 5-6 cameras just like all across.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't really worried about the cameras, but like basically the whole team was like behind. And half the kids didn't even have like passes onto the floor. I was like, what?
How did they get down here?
They just probably jumped out.
Yeah.
Of
One part of that interview that really stands out to me is that you wanted to acknowledge your faith in your faith in God and as a Christian, and I think that's people do that, right?
Yeah.
People do that and they throw it out, but there's authenticity to it too, and it takes courage to be able to acknowledge those things, especially in this kind of current culture we're in. Everybody wants to acknowledge everything but God these days for the things that they accomplish, and that shows your character as well. Being a humble person is that you didn't even like internalize it. You're like, hey, I gotta put credit where credit's due, and so walk me through a little bit about how like your faith got built and kind of how you got introduced to the Word and to God.
Yeah. So I just grew up in a Christian household, and like we went to church a lot, and I feel like when my faith started to really pick up was at like church camp and that stuff, because like that's when I like devoted my life.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I can do better here and there. Everyone
Sure.
sins and
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
But I'm always trying to work on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best litmus to like have like your faith being proved and tested.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we do go through trials, we do go through hard experiences. We do go through letdowns, and disappointments and all kinds of stuff. And I honor that in you that you were able to. Because it's a big moment. Like you could have like said anything else you wanted to in the world. You could have been like, oh man, I killed it out there. I'm doing so great. But you chose to put that power into something else.
Yeah.
And you talked about that power of prayer as like having like visualization in prayer, right? Like explain to me that process for you. If like, how do you channel that? How do you navigate that?
Yeah. Before each of my matches, I use my prayer as like kind of calming. I pray, and then I pray that I give all the glory to God after my match. And I knew that I'd have cameras on me after that. And that was the time to kind of give him the credit. And giving the credit, even if it just reaches one person, I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
It reaches one person, gets in their head. That's a win.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't know what verse it is, but it's like, heaven will rejoice over one lost soul, over 100 found
Yeah.
souls
Yeah.
or something like
yeah.
that. And I think that's important to like try to reach at least one person. And I know a lot of people probably watch that interview and it probably helped to one person.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, when I was traveling the country trying to help vets, I used to get really down when we'd lose a vet, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, man, am I not doing enough? But, you know, I was reminded that even though if I can connect to one person,
Mm-hmm.
I can make a change, you know, and that person will make a change to somebody else, right? So, all right. So let's do this. We're going to play a game of threes here.
Okay.
More challenging. We had 3 shoes that I think we're working in threes today. It's a good number. So what would be 3 words that describes being a wrestler, what it's like to being a wrestler?
Toughness, integrity, and I'm bad at this. And
Those are, you got 2 good ones right now. Toughness, or that can be physical, mental
Mentality.
toughness, mentality, and what was the other one?
integrity.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Nice. Why'd you pick the word integrity?
I think it's important to just kind of like be honest with yourself and like just know like what you need to accomplish and know what you need to do to be a wrestler, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes you dig deep.
Yeah.
You know, there's moments when wrestling will test you, whether it be off season or during season, that you're just like, I don't know if I like this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like want to keep dragging this out. Like, am I gaining anything from, all these feelings of doubt start rolling in. You
Yeah,
know,
I
the Bible talks
experienced
about
that.
doubt. There's some great verses in Matthew you should read about doubt,
Mm-hmm.
and how, but how that builds us and makes us stronger as well. So, okay. So now we're going to go to 3 random questions from my card deck over here.
All right.
All right. Here's the first question. Name 3 famous Michaels. We should do this in a different rule. We should go someone famous. Let's go. Give me 3 famous Michaels.
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan.
Is that the guy that played in Apollo?
Yeah. Michael Jackson.
And Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Those are great. I think the 3 Mikes that come to my name all existed in the same era.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah.
Those are great ones too. All right. Here's a good one. 3 things to buy for back to school shopping.
Backpack, pencils, notebooks.
No shoes.
I don't know. I mean, I don't get back to school shoes. I just kind of like get them whenever.
Right. Where do you get your kicks from?
Instagram. I mean, I've bought from StockX before. I don't know if I'm gonna trust them as much
Yeah,
anymore though.
yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
What's you just got the Dunks. You got
Yeah.
those Dunks, but what was the recent shoe before that one you got?
I got the Seafoam 4s.
Nice.
I got those from the sneakers app. I hit on them for retail, so.
Right. What's your normal shoe wear?
I have a lot of athletic shoes, just like normal tennis shoes, and then a few Jordans, and then I have 2 pairs of Dunks. And
Nice.
I just bought a pair for my birthday, a pair of Travis Scott Air Maxes.
What?
Yeah, they're sweet. They're like the cheapest Travis Scotts though.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
I love Air Maxes.
Yeah.
Air Maxes are great shoes. I've seen a lot of people rocking Air Maxes a lot more than the casual. The
Yeah.
casual wear is starting to come into the Air Maxes. All right. Last card. Name 3 holiday traditions.
Christmas tree, Easter bunny. Back to Christmas cookies.
Yeah.
That's good.
What's your
ones.
favorite cookie?
Probably sugar cookie.
Sugar cookies.
Everyone either loves them or hate them. The ones from Walmart that are like in the box and they have like the pink sugar.
Yeah, yeah. I know
on
exactly
top.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Those are so good. I
Yeah,
love
they're
those
so
ones.
they like melt in your mouth,
Yeah.
right? I'm a chocolate chip cookie fan. Like,
Yeah.
I can never like. That's probably like my worst enemy. That and like energy drinks.
Oh,
I got to stop drinking those damn energy drinks. But energy drinks and chocolate chip cookies are like my downfall. That's what gets me every
Yeah.
time.
I'm gonna shout someone out real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's send it.
Caden Tompkins' mom. She makes the best chocolate chip cookies.
Caden.
Caden Tompkins.
Okay.
He just graduated. His
What-
mom makes the best chocolate chip cookies.
So Caden, you got to get your mom to make a batch. I mean, I'll pay for them.
Yeah.
I'll take a dozen.
They're so good.
What's the secret sauce? I mean, is she air frying them? Is she baking them? Is she making her own dough?
Yeah.
We got to get up on that game, man. We can have some of those. If they did, the wrestling team did some cookie sales, I would probably definitely buy all the cookies. Okay, so moving on here. What do you see for your senior year? Like, what are you visualizing for yourself for this upcoming senior year for wrestling?
I want to be a state champ, I guess.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Do what I couldn't do this year.
And what about over the next 5 years? What do you see, not just for like you, like, you know, hey, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to do this, but like, where do you see like wrestling as a sport, like growing into, shifting, changing? I know there's already been discussions about some rule changing
Yeah.
at the NCAA level. So
Yeah, I seen a lot, like maybe freestyle NCAA, but I don't know about that. Girls wrestling definitely growing right now. That's one of the bigger ones. And if we see girls wrestling growing this fast, just imagine what like wrestling as a whole is gonna be like.
yeah, wrestling for the ladies is getting pretty big.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, having Skylar Slade on here, man, she's a talent.
Yeah.
Dude. And she's a well-rounded young lady too. She speaks well, and you know, she's comfortable in those moments. So
Yeah, I'm trying to get my sister to wrestle. She doesn't wrestle.
she plays softball, right?
Yeah, she's a big softball player.
Yeah.
She's getting good.
Has she tried wrestling? Have you like
Well, in the
single
house,
legged
she's
her
like,
or hit the?
she's like taking me down before. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, you gotta wrestle, and she just does not want to. I don't know. She'd be good though.
She should try it.
Yeah.
You know,
She
It's like-
looks up to like Skylar, and she like isn't even part of wrestling. Molly isn't.
Yeah,
but
and who's the head coach at Norwalk? I can't remember.
Alana Vederick.
Yeah,
She was good.
Yeah, she's
was
good.
really
Her
good.
brother wrestled too at Norwalk, right?
Yeah.
Is he still wrestling?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, she's a great coach.
Mhm.
Man, let's get her in there.
Yeah. I don't.
Drop her
That's
off. Tell her
Her
it's like
decision. I can't force
Tell-
that.
got to trick her into it.
Yeah.
Be like, hey man, there's a meeting going on for softball. You just got to show
Yeah.
up and
We're gonna.
here's a headgear.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
wrestle, and she's like scared she's gonna get cauliflower ear too.
Right. Well, you got to throw that headgear on her.
Yeah.
That's a pretty funny question. I had a mom at my gym. I always encourage them to go out for wrestling, especially if they're struggling to try to get takedowns down and stuff like that. And one of the moms was asking me about like headgear and
Yeah.
cauliflower ear. She's like, "Don't they have to wear headgear?" I said, "Yeah, when they're competing, they have to wear headgear in like high school, middle school, or in high school. But none of the kids wear it.
No.
You know?
Especially freestyle, nobody wears it.
Yeah. And then
Mine got really bad. Look,
yeah.
like it's closed up now.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Looks like a boil in there.
I know.
That's the I had that same on the inside of my ear right there. Just make sure you keep your
Yeah.
sweat out of your ears a little bit, you
Helps a
know,
little
keep some
bit.
cotton in there or something.
Yeah.
Because I got swimmer's ear
Oh.
on top of having the cauliflower ear, so I had to have it drained, and then they had to like drain my ear. Okay, so I had you up in the gym
Yeah.
for a day. That was kind of cool. Appreciate you coming up and showing some wrestling and getting a little workout in. What do you think about jiu-jitsu?
Definitely weird. I felt like I wrestled
Kinda-
it, or I did it with Asaya, and I felt like I was in control. And then my arm just like extended.
Yeah.
Felt like it was about to break. I was like, yeah.
But what do you said it seems weird, but like what do you feel like the feeling wise when you're doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Like the feeling difference between grappling jiu-jitsu and grappling wrestling?
Definitely slower. Yeah, a lot slower. Like, you don't have to attack. You can like just like be super passive and then catch them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was talking to one of the kids that trains up at the school. He wrestles as well. Talking about the difference, like wrestling is really like aggressive and it's constant movement and you're constantly pushing forward, sitting back in a lawn chair and you're kind of setting traps,
Yeah.
and stalling is not a part of it,
Yeah.
So the passivity works in favor of the person who's in control of the position. So I seen you trying to slip some punches in there too. Some
No.
little hook shots.
No.
Do you
I was faking.
yeah,
them.
faking it. Yeah. Do you watch mixed martial arts?
I have before. I'm not that big on it. Like a lot of people talk about it. I'm kind of behind on it. We don't.
Does your dad watch fights?
No, we're not. We don't watch any UFC or anything. We're not that big on that.
Cool. What do your dad watch? Does your dad watch wrestling with you?
Yeah, he'll watch wrestling. He loves watching wrestling.
Does he watch baseball tons too?
Not as much.
No.
I think, I don't know. He's really become like more of a wrestling fan than anything.
Yeah, and he's
Like,
coached too.
yeah.
I remember seeing him in the room when you guys were in middle school. He was
Yeah.
up there coaching. Yeah. So as we move into next season, anything that you're going to be the team captain again. Anything you want to give, your teammates that are listening to the podcast, any things that they need to be focusing on now, and any words of advice?
Probably a lot of discipline and everything. Like in the future, discipline with your workouts. Like just focus for hour and a half that we're in there, because you get better like that. And I know a lot of kids that aren't great with that, and you can just tell how that affects them. But if you can focus for that short amount of time, food probably, eat smart. Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah, and so that pulls up to my next question here is about food. So like, you were cutting down to 106 during your junior year. And well, you're cutting back down now, but you're going to be moving back up. So what your diet during when you're cutting weight, what does that look like?
During the season, it wasn't like super tough for me. So I ate clean, but I didn't track my macros as much as like I could have, because the practice is just 5 days a week help get down really easy.
Right.
But right now, cutting down for Fargo, I'm like a lot bigger. So I'm like tracking pretty well right now, and I'm trying to be focused on maintaining around like 112.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Drink water. Drink
Yeah,
water
drink
helps
a
lose
lot
weight.
of water.
And then and moving into after Fargo's complete and you're done with that, you're going to start back on your progress to start gaining a little bit of muscle and weight, right?
Yeah.
And what is your diet going to shift to from when you're cutting weight versus trying to gain weight?
A lot more kind of volume of food. Good food still, like chicken, a lot of protein, good carbs, rice, oatmeal. I love oatmeal.
Yeah, me too. Do you do overnight oats?
I've tried them like once or twice. They're all right, but my mom makes some really good oatmeal.
Yeah, some fresh warm
Yeah.
oatmeal. You do fruit with it and everything, or
No, chocolate chips.
chocolate chips? There it is. The chocolate.
Before every meet or every tournament, I have it. And Brown, Thompson, they all just make fun of me. It's so funny.
Well, it's because they're
Yeah.
probably dying to get some of that because those burritos are
Yeah.
like bricks.
Yeah, I know.
Big shout out to whoever
mean-
made the burritos, though. You guys did a great job. We appreciate you.
The burritos are fine, but it's not the best way to start your tournament
Right.
or start the thing. I don't know.
Yeah. It's always, interesting to look around and see what all the other kids are doing to kind of manage the long day.
Yeah.
Tournaments are long. They're just long days.
Mhm.
How do you usually manage that personally? Like, sitting there from 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning until 4 or 5 in the afternoon and having to wait, because when you win, you get longer time to wait before your next match.
Yeah. A lot of people take naps. I don't do that sort of thing, but I don't know, good food like oatmeal in the morning, then a lot of fluids like water, body armor, that kind of thing. Yeah. A lot of rest, not necessarily sleeping, but I slept one time during a tournament because somebody brought an air mattress, and Keaton took a picture of me and trolled me for it. The one time I fell asleep during a tournament was pretty
Somebody
funny.
brought an air mattress.
Yeah,
That's
I think it
genius.
was Brock Jensen.
I'm gonna help you guys out next year. I'm gonna bring like some puzzle piece mats,
Oh yeah.
because dude, there's never a warm up area.
No, there isn't.
I don't get that. So I'm gonna bring like 20 puzzle piece mats and find a little corner and put one
Yeah.
together for you guys, so you guys can have a place to chill out, lay out, and roll around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, man. Well, man, you got any other shout outs you want to send out before we close up shop here?
No. Maybe my mom. I don't think I
Yeah,
talked
there
about
you
my
go.
mom.
Yeah, it's a blessing, and I couldn't be more happier to have you here with me today and share your story with us. And we're looking forward to sharing the documentary and getting that thing moving. So
Yeah.
best of luck at Tulsa Nationals. Best of luck at Fargo, and I'll be seeing you around. Tyler Harper, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks for having me.